Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Brain Fitness One. My name is Thoryn Stephens, and I am delighted today to introduce our special guest, Frank Parisi. In today's episode, we will be discussing Frank's amazing journey from a recovered addict, New York City human, and ultimately as a young adult heart transplant survivor. Frank has basically pivoted his life to become a motivational keynote speaker, networking mogul, self-made entrepreneur, and is really on a global stage at the moment. And we are very excited to have him here today. You can also learn more about him at frank-parisi.com, and we'll have those notes in the section at the end. But first off, I wanted to welcome Frank Parisi. How you doing,
Dude,
Frank?
what an introduction. Like when I think of that, I'm like, wow, that's like pretty cool.
Such a pleasure, Frank. You've been
Such a
such a
pleasure,
joy.
man. Such a pleasure, dude. I have so much love and respect for you. So this
Oh,
is
well,
so
thank you.
good.
It is mutual, and we appreciate you immensely. So let's dive in. Frank, we'd love to hear about your journey and your background growing up in New York. How did you get here?
Oh, wow. So I grew up doing in the Lower East Side of Manhattan in the late 70s, early 80s, and I tell this story all the time, but it's a kind of a little reference of where I come from because 0 to 7, 8 is what shapes our whole entire world. So for me, I grew up in Little Italy in Manhattan on Elizabeth Street, 290 Elizabeth Street, above the famous Parisi Bakery, which is not there no more, but it's on Mott Street, and that's my family's business. It's been there since 1903.
Well,
My grandfather's father used to bake in the basement of the bakery that's on Mott Street, and then he moved the bakery to Elizabeth Street in like the 80s. But that neighborhood at the time, I grew up down the street from the first original Def Jam studios, and then around the corner from CBGB, 2 blocks from John Gotti's Social Club. So there was a lot of stuff going on in the neighborhood. Crack cocaine just hit the block. It was big and prevalent in that area.
and this was the
And so
90s,
this is the 80s,
80s. Okay.
early 80s, brother.
Yeah.
I was born in 1979.
Okay.
So that neighborhood down on the corner on Bleecker Street, there was like a crack spot, bro. So there was shootouts, and the thing that actually kept the neighborhood safe back then, because you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have any of that stuff, bro, and like cops weren't around. The city was just corrupt at that time. The thing that kept the neighborhood safe, Dawn, was like the mob, and my father and his brothers would leave baseball bats at the front of my bakery. And if they didn't, like any crime was taking place in front of the bakery, they would tell them go down the street. And then if they didn't comply, I mean, like my son's age, like 4, 5, 6 years old, watching grown men get hit with baseball bats. I actually had a little baseball bat that my dad got from Yankee Stadium. Like when you go to the Yankee game, you get the bat, and I would
Sure.
come running out. It's not normal, but I would come running out with like the bat, like I'm gonna go do something. But it's like that's what I grew up in, dude. Like that's where I came from. That's just the reality. That was the neighborhood. Eventually, my mom moved out and moved to Staten Island. But when you grow up in that, and like my father was involved with the street and organized crime, and addiction was in the home, you get programmed and you start to tell yourself things, and those things that you tell yourself is like I'm different and I like don't have a regular life and I'm no good, and it's the story that you tell yourself that you live with because of environment, upbringing. So that's what happens sometimes with people. They get into like, I feel like we're born like pure, beautiful, nice, and then sometimes life experiences kind of messes up the operation system, and then it's like,
Sure.
well, we just shook you up and now go operate, but that's the system I'm operating from. No one's showing me the correct operating system. And the thing that helped me in life later on, believe it or not, because I became addicted to opiates, the trauma, the environment, whatever the hell it is, it's actually saved my life. Like the addiction saved my life, even though I suffered for a good decade in it, because it brought me to recovery. And recovery gave me a whole new set of glasses, and it made me curious. It made me have open mind and I started to become a sponge through recovery. I started to want to learn more. Became self-educated. I started to hang around people that were better than me, that were
Sure.
smarter than me, that,
And how many
pretty
years
much.
in recovery, Frank?
Now I'm almost 14 years sober. July
Okay.
31st of 2011,
Yeah.
I have 14 years of continuous sobriety. Yeah.
Awesome. And can you share any other early experiences in New York, and how did those challenges shape you, or
Ah,
pivotal
bro. I
moments that?
mean, yeah, like my father, and I love my father. I don't ever like talking bad about him, but it's just the experiences I had. I mean, like my father was addicted to cocaine, So like I remember being a little kid and like coming home and then there'd be blood coming out of his nose. I'm 4 or 5 years old, going to see if he's alive. It was very confused in my home, Dawn, because like my father had a lot of love. He showed a lot of love, but he never fully healed himself. Like his mom died when he was 14. They just worked their whole life in the bakery, and he just got like caught up in that street life, and he only knew what he knew. So with that being said, like I witnessed a lot of violence. I beat people up with him. I sold drugs with him. Things that aren't normal. Like I would go to like Super Bowls, with my dad, and like he would pay for people to go. Like super cool, but like we're all getting high. I'm like 16 years old. I'm smoking pot with my father and getting drunk and going to strip clubs, and it's not normal. You know what I mean? Like I went to the Stanley Cup in 1994. He took me to the Stanley Cup. Mark Messier. I loved the New York Rangers. I was 14 years old, but my uncle's friend smoking crack in the bathroom. You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like so I'm at the Stanley Cup. Everyone's getting high. They're popping pills. My uncle's friend's not even watching the game. He's in the bedroom smoking crack half the time. And like that's the savage environment I was in. Like I had awesome experiences which exposed me to things that most were unable where I was from to be exposed to, but it was very at what cost? Like at what cost do you and these are like life lessons that I've learned is like and we could get into that later too. Like a true abundance to me is not financial. Like
Sure.
it's how my home vibrates. It's like when I walk in my home, my son and my wife know who's coming in the door.
Yeah.
They know there's support and love and compassion and empathy and caring and guiding and teaching. And I think we only know what we know. Like it's like the fleas in the mason jar, right? Like we talk about this. Like you put the lid on the mason jar, the fleas
Sure.
could jump 3 to 6 feet. They take the lid off the mason jar for 2 weeks. The flea just jumps to the top of the mason jar. The
Hmm.
babies, they have babies. The babies only job to jump to the top of the mason jar, even though they could jump out. And you become conditioned to your environment and your upbringing. And it shaped me. Like 1994, I went to the Stanley Cup, bro. I went, and then that night after they won, my father stopped. Always had to stop at the bakery. Obsession with the bakery, and we stop at the bakery, and he's throwing M80s in the street. Gets into a fight with 3 guys. I'm in the car. He pulls out a machete. Like this is how crazy my life was. Pulls out a machete, starts chopping the bar up. Everyone runs in the bar. I'm in the car. Like, what is going on? Like, am I gonna have to get out and do something? There was always nights like that. Then that
Yeah.
night he came home
Wow.
and he went back to Manhattan. He drove me to Staten Island. And like in the morning, I woke up and he's destroying my house in a blackout, like completely destroying my house. So like, and then I had to like go to school. It's like, what are you going to do? I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go to school. I want to fight everybody. You know what I mean? So that was my upbringing, brother. And like, I
Wow.
hung around guys that had the same insanity in their home that I did. Most of
S-
my friends, bro, are like dead, like that I
Yeah.
grew up with or coming. Like I have a friend that just came out of jail 20 years.
So was there a
I grew up.
pivotal moment that led to, what was that path from addiction to recovery? Was
Well,
there?
brother, honestly, it was like, again, like I smoked pot from 12 years old on, but like that really wasn't a problem. It was when I found the opiates, and that just took me down like a dark, dark, dark road. In probably about 2005, about 2005, I don't even know the years because I like have a decade that's been lost, Thoryn, seriously. Um, And my wife, who stuck by me through all this, at the time was my girlfriend. And for some reason, one night she felt something was wrong. I was at my friend's deli. I'd opened up a deli on Highland Boulevard in Staten Island. And I was like, at the time, I was strung out on pills, but I need like whatever you had, I would take. I didn't even care because I didn't want to feel sick. So I took one night, I didn't even know I was taking Xanax and methadone.
Wow.
And she felt something was wrong. It's like God has been guiding me my whole life, brother. Like I'm not delusional about this. And she felt something was wrong, and she came to my parents' house at that time, and I was slouched over dead in the car. You know, Kathy saved my life that night, and that's the insanity of addiction. Like for anybody that listens to this, is like, here I am, I overdose, I get saved by my wife. No one knows in the neighborhood because there's no way I'm telling anybody that I have a problem. But now that I'm in the hospital, in the ICU, they give me the charcoal to drink and I'm throwing that up. And now like one of the nurses is like the moms in the neighborhood. So now everybody knows. And the insanity of addiction is that like I'm in the hospital, I just OD'd and I gotta leave and get more. Like that's the insanity because it puts you in such a shame cycle, bro. Like knowing like as a child, I knew I could be this great, like where I am today. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I had that like intuitive thought and I was just so like, I just couldn't get past myself. I could not get past myself. And I suffered an addiction even after that. You would think that that would have been the moment. I went to treatment after the overdose and I got the seed. I finally got the seed. I just didn't water it enough. I was still a knucklehead. I was still not willing to let go of certain resentments. I look at life so differently today. I don't hold on to things like I used to. I think everybody's here to teach us lessons and help us down a path of our purpose and our mission. So there's no attachments, but I had to learn a lot of that in the 12-step recovery process. And I didn't get it, brother, for another, like I had almost a year sober in 2006. Because after the overdose, I went to Texas. That's what brought me to Texas. I went to treatment and I stood at a place for 4 months. And then I started working in treatment, but then I relapsed because again, I wasn't ready. And recovery is about service, unity, and it's about our fellowship. It's about the 12 steps and it's about giving to others. Okay, service, recovery, and unity, and it's a circle and a triangle. And what happens is like the whole purpose of the 12-step program is to enable us to peel away all the layers that are blocking us from God. At
Mm.
the end of the day, that's the whole crux of the program. We admit we're powerless. Is there a possibility that there is a God? Yes. Step two. Step three, I turn my will and my life over to the care of God. 4 through 9, I'm peeling away. I'm looking at my part in all of my resentments, all my fears, my sex inventory, all my conduct. I'm going back out. I'm looking at all of my defects of character. I'm releasing them. I'm going out into the world. I'm making amends. And then I live in the disciplines of the 10th and the 11th step, which is prayer, meditation, and basically awareness of self and checking myself at the end of the day. But what happens is, and a lot of people in recovery miss this, they think going to meetings is going to keep them sober. It's not. It's the deep internal work that you're going to do, the awareness of self, getting rid of all the stuff, the self-accountability, the self-reflection, the writing, the sharing all of your defects with another man, that humble experience of doing that. That is the process that's going to free me. But here I am just going to meetings because I think I have some time and I'm not working any steps and I'm not connected to God. And then what happens is I am showing up as the guy that overdosed, but I don't even know it because delusion is a lie that I tell myself.
Mm. Sure.
And if
Is
I
there a
don't have the
blueprint
right
there,
circle,
Frank, that you follow that people listening could potentially deploy? Is there a framework? I mean, 12 steps obviously being one, but is there, a blueprint you could
yeah,
share, or, what's
my
what's
daily
the
habits.
process for someone struggling with this
Yeah, I
level of?
mean, for addiction,
Sure.
I mean, you got to reach out for help, brother. You have to reach out for help, and it's going to be very difficult to do it on your own.
Hmm.
Whether it's 12-step, mentorship, therapy,
Yeah.
there's many ways. It's not a one size fits all that it's 12-step recovery. I'm not as active in the 12-step recovery, but I serve in everything I do, and it's a part of my life, and I live it daily. I live it daily. I just travel so much so to be able to have a home group, and it's impossible. But I would like tap down in another state and hit a meeting. Like that's not a problem. Definitely get in the middle of the herd. That's what I tell people. Like if you have to surround yourself, we become who we surround ourselves with.
Of course.
Period.
Yep.
So if you want to be sober, hang around sober people. If you want to get intelligent, hang around intelligent people. If you want to get jacked, hang around jacked people. Start learning from them. You know?
So fast forwarding a bit, what about your heart transplant? Can you maybe talk a bit about that? Like, how did that experience change your perspective on life and ultimately your journey?
Wow. Yeah. So I kind of want to go back, Dawn, because like after all the relapse, after I relapsed after about a year, and I had like 4 years of hell, and I went back to New York and was in and out of jail and hospitals and rehab. And on July 31st, I had a moment of clarity, and the seed was planted in '06, but it took me to 2011 to actually like the moment of clarity came where a guy came looking for money, and here I am, 31 years old, grown man, can't pay a street debt. And my wife comes out, who's working on Wall Street, who used to defend me in court because that's how bad things got, bro. Like she had never changed her name for 3 years. So she would literally defend me in court in Manhattan, like when I would get arrested. And she comes out and pays a grown man street debt, 31 years old. Could you imagine? 31 years old, grown man street debt. And like that moment, I looked myself in the mirror and I said, it doesn't matter no more, because none of us are victims in life. It doesn't matter where you started. All the shit I've been through, those are all lessons to keep my sword sharp and be able to help somebody else. So I looked myself in the mirror. I took full accountability for where I was at. And I said, Frank, it doesn't matter how you got here. You're in a ditch. When you're in a ditch, thinking about how you got in the ditch isn't getting you out. So who gives a shit how you got in the ditch? Your only focus needs to be getting out of this ditch. It needs to be, and it's been like this: evolution, elevation, creation, and service. God, recovery, personal development, and service of others. And that's all I've done over the past 13 and a half years. I've developed a new human being through this process, through my daily habits, which are my non-negotiables. I show up in them no matter friggin' what. I did a protocol with you. You see how it is.
Yeah.
And I created a new human being through this, and through like being around people like you and upgrading the system and constantly putting myself in rooms that I maybe didn't belong in until I did belong in them. Just asserting myself.
Can we talk about that? Like, what's your non-negotiables and your protocol?
Dude,
Like wake up
morning
in the morning, and
meditation,
we'll
prayer.
share your protocol as well. But let's go.
Yeah. My non-negotiables, prayer, meditate. Dude, it's me. It's what I live. It's the faith, family, health, hustle, purpose. That's what creates abundance. It's not like, how much money did I make? Did I pour into my faith today? Did I pour into my family today? Did I pour into my health today? Did I pour into my hustle, my business today? Did I pour into my purpose today? That's non-negotiable. I did that in the hospital. I'll get into that. So July 31st, 2011, I have the moment of clarity. I don't stop. And then business happens, things happen, we do good, everything happens. Like, I mean, beautiful thing. I have a family, I get married, success in business, all this stuff. And then January of 2023, I develop a cough.
Wow. Yep.
I develop a cough. I'm traveling, we travel. I'm in Cali, I'm in Florida, I'm in New York. And the doctors, I go to the doctors, I'm in Central Texas. They say, because you live in Central Texas, you have a high allergy count. So I'm used to getting this cough around this time. It's like we have cedar trees out here. And so I go to 2 primary care physicians and they tell me that I have allergies, but they keep giving me medication and it's not getting better. So now it's like February. Bro, it's getting like, I'm starting to get, because it's going to get weird. We're going to talk about some weird stuff. I'm starting to like lose weight. I'm starting to lose like interest in life. It was weird, bro. I started to want to be near my mom and my dad's dead.
So it was impacting both your physical health, but also your mental health.
Yes, brother.
Literally.
Literally my mental health. I was starting to feel like lose life, brother. Like I was starting to lose my vigor for life. Like I just was like, and now like the cough's getting worse. But at this time, I'm like watching Instagram and I find this medium. And I booked like an appointment with her because I want to talk to my dad, bro. And this is like in February. So she's like, the next appointment's May 18th, you know? So then I go about, and there's a reason I say this. Then I go about, and my mom's like, listen, you got to go see some specialists. I'm like, I am. So I come back from New York and I go see a pulmonologist, a gastrointestinal, and I have a cardiologist appointment. So I go to the gastro because I'm losing weight, bro. Like I'm working out and losing weight. I'm not eating as much. Like I'm like, what's going on? Something's going on. Like maybe I'm in my 40s. Been working out my whole life since I'm 14, you know? And go to the pulmonologist, the gastrointestinal, everything comes back good. I go to the pulmonologist. He says that you have the rarest form of pneumonia called organizing pneumonia. 3% of the population has it after COVID. We're going to treat you on high dose steroids and 2,000 milligrams of amoxicillin. They said that they were going to give me 60 milligrams of prednisone. I was going to be on this for the next 6 months. And like, bro, at that time, I was like, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. Like 6 months of this cough. This cough is like all day and night. Like, so I start the therapy and it's getting worse. Like the cough is getting worse. It's all day and night now. I call the doctor up and he gives me more meds. Now, bro, I'm coughing this orange stuff up.
Wow.
It's like
so more
orange.
meds being, so you're on antibiotics, you're on prednisone, you know, a steroid.
And now he's giving me more like cough medicine. Because I'm telling him now I'm coughing this orange stuff up. I'm thinking it's breaking up. I'm thinking this pneumonia thing is breaking up. It's orange stuff. It's like liquidy. It tastes weird, dude. I've never experienced this. It was like cold. It was like, Dawn, it was scary, bro. So scary. Now I'm telling people I feel like I'm telling my wife I feel like I'm dying. I'm calling people, but I'm in shape. So everyone's like, you're not dying, bro. You're not dying, bro. And I'm like, I feel like I'm dying. Now I can't eat. Like, I can't even hold food down. It's like, it just went down, bro. My son is 6. He's sitting there and he's like, I want to go to school. I can't. I don't want to watch daddy be like this. Like, do you know how hard that is? Brother, on May 8th, I cough up this much blood. Literally. This much blood. And I go to the hospital to see my doctor and he goes, you know, we're going to have to admit you now. So they admit me into the hospital on May 8th. Now, this is like for everybody, because on May 8th, I didn't know. I did not think on May 8th that everything that you know that I'm about to share was about to happen. I had no clue, bro. I thought I had organizing pneumonia. I was in 6 months. I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
No clue of what was going to happen. And that's the thing of why our daily habits are so important, brother, because like 14 years ago, I didn't know that I was changing not just for me, but for my son and his future generations. That's why I got sober. I know today my life has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with Sonny and his future generations. That's what it really has to do. I'm the one in my family. I'm totally clear on that today. So I go into the hospital and they say, okay, we're going to admit you. So they admit me and I'm there for like 8 hours in the freaking emergency room, bro. They finally say that, Mr. Parisi, you have sepsis. So now they're treating me for sepsis. They pump me with 17 liters of fluid, okay? My wife leaves because I have my son in Texas. We have nobody here. There's nobody here. Everyone's in New York and Jersey. One of the nurses never drew like the pick to make sure that the medication went into my arm. So she infiltrated my arm from the inside out. I got a 3rd-degree burn. I wound up having to get a skin graft surgery. Wow. From my leg later on.
Sure.
But I now imagine May 8th, you wake up. You wake up May 8th. Now they're telling you you have sepsis, and now you got this burn on your arm. And you're in the ICU by yourself. Then in walks another doctor finally, and he goes, Mr. Parisi, this just blew my mind. He goes, Mr. Parisi, you don't have sepsis. You have 9% ejection fraction, and your liver, kidneys, and heart are failing, brother. And dude, he said, we have to take you to. This was like it's like an acid trip. It's like a movie. We're gonna take you to Temple, Texas. Brother, there's 25 or 30,000 people in Temple, Texas. There's a hospital that's going to save my life in Temple, not Houston, not Austin. I'm in Austin. San Antonio, Dallas, major cities, like major universities, like one of the biggest cities in the country, like 4 of the top 10 populated. Temple, the word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So now, bro, I gotta go on a ride with these guys. I'm an hour and a half from Temple, Texas. I live in Austin. It's an hour and a half. It's in between Dallas. It's near Waco. It's in between Dallas and Austin. I take a ride up with these guys, in the ambulance. And my wife is waiting at like 1 o'clock in the morning, brother. Like, could you imagine you wake up and she's waiting with a picture of my son? Bro, that picture saved my life, Dawn. That picture saved my fucking life, bro. Because she had the picture and she was begging me to live, brother. I had 10 minutes to sit with her and discuss my life without her. And they kept telling her we have to put him on a ventilator. And her only, her recollection of a ventilator is COVID and everyone dies. So she's like, I don't even want him to be on a ventilator. And I'm like, Kat, like, I have to let them do this because I'm so sick right now. Like, I'm so sick right now. I have to let them do this.
Wow.
So they were going to put me on the most advanced form of life support called ECMO machine. And there was a doctor there named, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's not there no more. And he brought his whole team, Thoryn, from New York. That's what makes this place one of the best. There was another doctor from Mexico City as well, but this doctor brought the whole team from New York and from Mount Sinai. So there was all these doctors from New York. So they put me on the ventilator and he reverses everything, but I die. So I code and I leave my body. And when I left my body, it was like I floated out of myself and I was in a dark space. Everything was dark, but there was no form. Like, I was just nothing. And I had a buddy of mine that I had helped out years ago that had passed away with me. And there was like voice that I heard that was like, he's here to take you. And I could like look down at, it was weird because everything was dark. And then like, it was like a portal almost where I would like look down and it would be me on a ventilator with my wife next to me, like curled up, sleeping. And then I had a vision, brother, of my son growing up without me. And I said, I have to come back for him. Mm. So that voice let me come back, but it told me that I'm going to suffer. It said, you're going to suffer. So I come back, brother, and I'm like, maybe that didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like maybe that was just because all this is happening. Like your mind could start to play tricks on you and stuff like that. So I come to and I'm in this hospital bed now for 9 days, bro. And the doctors are coming in with hazmat suits. And the windows boarded up, like the doors boarded up. And they're like, they're coming in because they think the orange stuff that's going is, I might have tuberculosis. But they keep misdiagnosing me, bro, like for months, even in the hospital.
Just a quick
it's
question
not tuberculosis.
What, it's on some level that's illustrative of our medical system. I mean, you went through years of misdiagnosis, basically, right? I mean, it was a good year and a half. But just any quick thoughts on that and, a reflection on our medical system?
Bro, it's all broken, dude. I mean, it's like in God's hands. Like, it's all in God's hands, dude. All of it.
Yeah.
It really is like God came into that place. But I mean, it is what it is, dude. It's like luck of the draw. That's why take care of yourself. If I didn't work out, for 30 years
Yeah.
and eat well.
Sure.
And even though I had addiction, I still worked out in my addiction
Yeah.
every day. Every day as an opiate addict, I'd still work out. It saved me. Like that's like we need to take care of ourselves. Don't rely on the medical unless you're gonna get your arm chopped off or something. Like I think it's all BS half the
Yeah.
stuff. Look at what they do. I mean, like, we could go on a whole nother one with that. But look at all the foods they give us, and it's just all a big game to keep us sick, to get us back. Listen to me. They don't know why this happened to me.
Right.
They still don't know. It was probably the vaccine. Like, what else could it be? It's probably the vaccine. So the thing that they're like, hey, we're gonna help you, but it's gonna kill you, and then we're gonna save you. You know, dude, it gets deeper because like they'll use like I don't even want to get into. I get it off camera, but I mean like try to use me to like fundraise and stuff like that, dude.
Wow.
Like it's
Yeah.
crazy, bro. It's so crazy, actually. It's disgusting. Let me be honest with you. It's disgusting. I'm just gonna be honest. It really is. I'm so grateful for my team.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But like the system, how it operates, it's really it's a lot of darkness, brother. In the light, you know what I mean? There's a lot of light in it, but the business side of it, we're just pawns in this whole game, bro.
Hmm.
We're pawns. We're money.
So
We're
then,
cattle.
so fast forward. So you code. So you come out of this. They think it's tuberculosis.
I'm sitting in the bed now for 9 days, bro.
9 days.
9 days.
Unconscious. I mean,
No,
you're
I'm having this thing called atrial fibrillation, which I never
yep.
even knew what it was at first. I
Atrial
was getting
fibrillation.
told.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, bro, my heart rate was going from
Right.
80 to 150. It was insane. And I'm sitting there sweating. I can't eat. They got a pump in my groin. They're coming in with hazmat suits. I've lost like 40 pounds. You're in a bed for 9 days in the hospital.
Sure.
You're withering away. I'm like, I gotta get up. Put the pump in my neck. Put it in my neck so I can walk. I gotta walk and eat because they're telling me that I might need a mitral valve replacement or heart transplant. Could you imagine? I'm like, heart transplant? What are you talking about? So I'm in the bed for 9 days, Dawn. And guess what I got, bro? I got the fucking appointment with the medium on May 18th.
So
I
this was
mean,
scheduled. This was scheduled months before.
in February,
Yeah.
bro. What's the odds that I'm in this hospital? Now I'm like, all right, I got to talk to this lady. My wife's like, I don't want you talking to her. And I'm like, well, Kat, does any of this make sense? Does any of this make sense? I'm in the mirror. I'm in the Twilight Zone right here. Black Mirror episode. What is going on? I'm talking to her. So I talked to her and I talked to my dad. And you could go on Google and find stuff out about our past and all this BS. But she goes like this to me, Dawn. She goes, I told you all my doctors were from New York, brother. Right? What's the odds one of the doctors went to the same college as my wife? What's the odds another one of the doctor's fathers-in-law was in the mob? All these doctors were from New York, bro. God brought
Temple,
them there.
Texas.
Yes,
Yeah.
bro. Middle of Temple, Texas, town of 25,000. Do you understand? I talked to the medium and she goes, all your doctors from New York. And I said, yes. And she goes, your father sent them there for you, brother. And then she goes, he keeps telling me about a birthday and a pendant and a chain. I told you my dad's mother died when he was 14.
Hmm.
My mom comes in the next day and goes, I go, Ma, she knew all the doctors were from New York. How she know this? She could know all the other stuff. You could Google stuff. But she knew a lot of stuff. I said, but she got two things wrong, a birthday and a pendant and a chain. She goes, today's your grandmother's birthday, May 19th. My dad was telling me that. And then she goes, the pendant and the chain, when your dad died, he Your Aunt Dolores gave a pendant of your grandma with a chain to me. I didn't know about this, bro. She said, I gave it to your Aunt Camille, my dad's sister. Brother, I'm in the bed. I FaceTime my Aunt Camille, and she's wearing the pendant and the chain, bro. She's wearing the pendant and the chain that I don't even know about. And Dawn, at that moment, dude, I knew that God was blessing me, bro, and God was using me again,
Divine
just like he
intervention,
did with
brother.
my addiction,
Yep.
just like he did with my upbringing. He put me through all that so that I could be able to serve, bro, so I could help more people. I wrote about that, brother. I wrote about that in the fucking hospital, bro. I wrote it on my Instagram. I said, I know why he's doing this to me, so that I could serve more.
That's
And then
right.
I said, this did happen, bro. And you maybe not been here before, but you've been here before, bro. You've been in situations that you didn't know you were going to get out of. You've been in hospitals and jails and institutions. You've been in sticky situations, and the difference is this time, Frank, you got God, bro. You got daily habits. You got recovery. You have personal development, and you got to serve in the darkest of times. And I got up, Dawn. I got up, and they put a fucking pump in my chest, bro. 13 staples, dude. I'm an opiate addict. I saw what was happening in there. Ibuprofen, bro, and they put the impeller pump in, which is a pump that's gonna see if my heart's gonna recover. So I need to walk and I need to get strong because they're gonna cut me open. And what do you need when you're at your lowest in life, bro? You need love. Love, bro. And the only way you're gonna get love in life is by giving it, bro. Life is a fucking mirror. So if I'm angry at it, people are gonna treat me that way. I know that because I was born into that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how to live in that shit. And I know what that attracts. And then recovery came, and I did, like I told you, I didn't know that I was getting sober. It had nothing to do with me, bro. All this shit has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with my son and the world. So I get up, bro, and I'm starting to walk 10 steps at a time with this impeller pump. And I'm doing ibuprofen, no pain meds. No pain meds. I'm not even messing with that right now. So you know what I mean, dude, 13 staples, no pain meds. And now I gotta walk, bro. 10 steps, 20, 30, 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles,
So you're walking
4 miles,
around. You're walking around the interior of the hospital.
5 miles, bro, a day. Doing squats with the walker. I documented the whole thing. They got me, the nurses, I started to bring light and love, bro. They would all come in my room. My room was light in the darkest of times. They got me a Superman cape, bro. They would play the Superman music when I would walk out. I would bring light, and bro, they got a freaking plaque of me in the hospital right now. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the man that I developed, bro. I was serving, bro. I was calling people that I helped, guys I sponsored in AA while I'm facing death, brother. How you doing? My man lost his brother. He goes, why you calling me? I said, what do you mean, bro? Non-negotiable to the day I die. This is the man I developed. And I know it's going to help me to vibrate higher. When I'm thinking of you, it's going to help me. I was still working in there, bro, while I'm dying. And nothing stopped. When I was unconscious, I would sleep or if I needed to sleep or if I had a procedure or a surgery. But the day went on. The day went on, bro. I couldn't hit the gym, but I could walk 5 miles in the ICU unit. I was building my strength up. Now I got to face and the arm debridement. So they said now I go in after 2 weeks with this impeller pump and I'm building my strength up. Because I lost 45 pounds, bro. And I don't weigh a lot. You know what I mean? I don't weigh a lot. So now I got the impeller pump. I go in, the doctor into the cath lab, and he says, your heart's dead. So now I have to hopefully, here's the 2 options. Now imagine this, May 8th, you wake up. That's why it's so important to pour into your personal development, your faith. Develop a man that can withstand anything and then respond in the manner and win. Still win. Doesn't matter where you start in life or your current circumstances. When you have a vision for your life and you make those non-negotiable agreements with yourself, cut out all the fat, bring in the right people, and walk in that vibration and energy, anything is freaking possible. Anything is possible. I'm having to see if I could even get on the transplant list. Now that I need a heart transplant, the two options are LVAD or heart transplant. LVAD is a machine that goes into your heart and the wires come out of your stomach.
Yep.
And you plug in a battery and it charges and you get 18 hours of charge.
Wow.
Yeah. Or a heart transplant. How do you deal with this stuff? God is everything, Thorn, or he is nothing, brother. I learned that in recovery. A lot of people talk that BS in the meeting, page, whatever they want to say. But I live it, bro. When I turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood him, that means my life has nothing to do with me no more. So, yo, if you want to take me, brother, then you take me. Because you love me more than I'm ever going to love myself or my family. So if you know better than me, then you take me. But if you want me here, I'm going to keep serving. And that's what he did. He kept me here, bro. I went in. I got approved for the heart transplant. So now they said because you're O positive, and you got to get approved for heart transplant. You got to see social worker, everything. I mean, colonoscopy, teeth. Like every test. And then they all sit and vote to see if you even get approved.
Wow.
I mean, could you imagine? God is everything, he is nothing, bro. Hands off the wheel, brother. Complete surrender. So now we go in. They're like, all right, we're going to debride your arm. You're on the list. June 1st, they debride the arm. They say it's going to be about 4 weeks before the skin grows back. We could do the skin graft surgery. But being that you're O positive, you're going to be on the transplant list for 6 to 8 weeks. So prepare to be here for the rest of the summer. So I go get the arm debridement. I'm like, good, because once you get a heart transplant or any transplant, you are on anti-rejection meds for the rest of your life, so your immune system's compromised. So I'm like, this is going to take, thank God I could get this done first because it'll heal quick better. Once I have the anti-rejection meds, will this heal? That was the other thing. Like, am I going to die from this in the hospital? I'm in ICU. There's infections everywhere. God is everything. He's nothing, bro. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Yeah. So they debride my arm on June 1st, right? I'm missing this much doing. I gotta take the pain meds now. And I saw the darkness. This happened as a test. It was like a test. Are you gonna come back to the dark or are you gonna stay in the light? And so they debride my arm. They come in June 2nd and they go, Mr. Parisi, you have a heart tomorrow. One day, bro. One day. One day I get a heart.
Wow.
So I go in on June 3rd, I get the heart. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? You're waiting on somebody to die. Now someone died. What are you doing with that? What are you doing? What are we doing with all of this? All of us. What are we doing with the food, with the body God gave us, with the mind? A lot of us shit on it. The society. Most of the people are not, they're not giving their 100% to this gift.
Sure.
This gift of life. Evolution, elevation, creation, and service. That should be all of our focuses. So I come out and I get the arm debridement. Now they're saying the next day you're going to get the heart transplant. I go in and I get the heart transplant, brother. And then I come to before the anesthesia wears off and I'm on a ventilator. I'm on a ventilator awake in massive pain. And if you go on my Instagram, I wrote on a big board, I said, I don't care about pain. I'm grateful to feel and be alive. And gratitude and love and service are high frequencies, bro. They're high frequencies. And when you live in that, you will live abundantly. And I learned so much in my suffering. I learned so much about myself. Suffering could teach us so much. I learned so many lessons in that suffering because I learned to be grateful in stillness. I learned to be grateful with wires all in me. I learned to be grateful with nurses having to clean me. I couldn't shower for 6 weeks, bro. I had blood, wake up with blood all in me. Every night they'd come in and x-ray me. They'd come in and change. They could only use this arm. Look like a heroin addict on this arm. Because they couldn't do this arm because the veins missing.
Yeah.
So just constantly moving all through the night, being picked at, stabbed. Bro, you learn so much because when you could be grateful in that and then have the vision, bro, that was the thing, Dawn. It was never what victim. It was what is the gift in what I'm going through and what am I going to become because of it? That was my mindset. I already was envisioning my comeback. And in that hospital, my wife and I started to write. I started to write a book for my son because if I would have passed, I wanted him to know where his dad came from, what he had become and what the blueprint is for him and his success and his future generations. And in the hardest of times, bro, the book became a bestseller in 3 countries. The book would have never happened. You understand? So it doesn't matter where you start in life or what your current circumstances are. As long as you have a vision for your life, you make the agreements with yourself, you cut out, that's the other thing I had to do, cut out all the energy. Because when you go through these life experiences, you see who's real. You see who shows up. And then I also learned that, like, because I come from where I came from, I would accept other relationships in my life because it was better than that. No more. I honor myself in my authenticity, my honesty, my vulnerability, my integrity being like, I need men in my life to show up for me. I'm going to be vulnerable and honest about that. I'm not going to be half measures about it and make excuses. Like, you should show up for me because I'm going to show up for you.
Sure.
That's a non-negotiable. And like when you finally get clear on that, oh man, everything just starts, it's law of attraction. Law of attraction is real. We're magnetic. 100%. And then, dude, randomly in the weekend, on a random Friday night in the summer, I get the mail, and I don't get the mail, but I get the mail. It's like 5:00, and it's my donor's family, bro. It's my donor's family. So I speak to the parents, the mom and the dad are divorced. The mom's a beautiful woman. I love you, Cora. And the dad, he's renewing his vows of his wife of 10 years the next day. And they invite me and my whole family to come out, Dawn.
Wow.
And I walked his wife, his mother-in-law down the aisle. And brother, my donor's a female. I have a 19-year-old girl's heart in my chest. Her name was Kaylee Bearden. And she saved her little sister in a car accident, bro. That's how she passed away. And they all listened to her heart, brother. Her little sister listened to her heart. She had 6 sisters. They all listened to her heart, brother. And I stood there with them. You know what I mean, bro?
Wow.
With them, brother. In their eyes. Sat there. God is everything and God is beautiful, Dawn. It's just so beautiful. This life is amazing. We're here to do this, experience all of it. Our families, the water, the sun, the food, like music. Like, dude, this is beautiful. All of it. All of it. You can't make this stuff up. It's like, it does, it didn't happen to me. I'd be like, this didn't happen. There's no way.
What's the,
None of this is real.
To distill it, Frank? I mean, what's the major lesson there? You know, what did God give to you that you're now giving back to the world?
Oh, dude, he put me through the hardest of times to show people that I'm the hope that creates belief. Because if you have hope, hope creates belief, and belief changes the world, bro. Belief change. I tell my son, what is the only thing that you need to do to achieve anything in this life? You have to believe. And once you start to believe, dude, brother, it's magical. It's magical. I believed. I saw the comeback. I embraced where I was. The sooner we could fully accept our reality and move through it. I teach the kids this. I coach flag football for my son. And I say, I don't care about if we win or lose. That doesn't matter. It matters, but what really matters is, did I put 100% into every single play? Good, it's over. What's next? And the faster as human beings we can move through that and not hold on, because that's what we do. We live in things that aren't even reality. We hold on to old. That's why I was stuck in addiction for so long, because I was living in a narrative that was like in my head when I could have been living in what could be in the future and creating that versus the story of the past.
Sure. Critical. What so fast forward, you've been given this gift, you had a bestseller. What are you working on now? Tell us a bit about emotion wellness and
Yeah, so
your
Emotion
other
Wellness,
projects.
I partnered in September with Jason Turner. We are a substance abuse and mental health facility for adolescents and adults. It's an outpatient program in San Antonio, Texas. So with that, we're growing. We opened up corporate offices. We have a podcast, the Emotion Wellness Podcast. We got to get you on there. You got to
Yeah,
come into San Antonio, stay
sure.
at my house in Austin, we'll get you on there.
Let's do
You can
it.
see the whole digs. We're going to be expanding this year, opening our second location. I also am working on personally, I have a coaching program, mindset and fitness. It's more mindset based. I think our body is a reflection of our mind. So part of my program is you will work out, but it's not a workout program. People look at me and they think a workout program. It's a mindset program. I take you through the 5 pillars. We do a lot of vision setting, and I'll help you break through any barriers that you're struggling with. I work a lot with like entrepreneurs, more higher achievers in that regards. I'm also working with Pick'em Technology. It's a app that's designed to get people away from gambling. So there's some initiatives coming out with that as well, with Dominique Wilkins and Darren Prince and Brian Stone and Paul Ashmore. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of that as well. And I mean, dude, I want to help you with Brain One, so let's go. I mean, any way I can help you with that.
Thank you,
And
brother.
that's really it. I'm doing a lot of motivational speaking now. I'm traveling around the country, podcasts, just getting the message out there. And the message is hope, because hope creates belief. It's also, it doesn't matter where we start in life. I'm living proof of this. I literally have no reason to be in the vibration or like, I'm not like, success is measured in different things, but like I've become pretty successful in my life. Like things have happened coming from where I came from. So that's like, it's not like a boast or a brag. It's to show people that it doesn't matter where we start. You could start at the bottom. Your parents could be crackheads. You know what I mean? You could be addicted to heroin today. And let me tell you something. In 10 years, you might sell a company for $100 million. That's the message too. And, or you might be facing a heart transplant or cancer or some hardship or you have some traumas. I'm telling you, I lived through it all. And because of my daily habits, my non-negotiables, serving in everything that I do, God, recovery, personal development, I've developed a new human being. We all are dynamic in our spirits and we all could evolve and elevate. It's just our limiting beliefs, our traumas, all these things that were never ours to begin with, that we carry on into adulthood and keep us in a lower state of vibration, not in a creative process. So I'm the one to show you through my journey and everything that I've been through as a child, as a man, then recently what I've been through. Anything is possible, but you gotta have discipline. More than anything else in life, God, the universe rewards discipline. It loves discipline. So you have to create those daily habits because your daily habits will create your reality. I know it because I've created dark reality and light reality. And it's all around having discipline. I had discipline every day to get up and hustle and go get drugs. You flip that into business, into growth, into personal development because you have to hustle 24/7 for that. Now I just hustle 24/7 for growth and business and service.
Beautiful, Frank. And it, really is it's a story of recovery to transformation. And, really hits on part of the reason we developed Brain One, the concept of having a daily routine and a protocol that you follow. And what's really interesting is now we're doing hundreds, if not thousands of these protocols with our users. The connection to things like spirit and discipline and having a structured framework of what to follow every day, whatever that is, and everyone's different, but it's just really, really interesting hearing your story and ultimately your routine and how that's completely transformed your life. And it's truly, truly an inspiration, Frank.
Man, I appreciate you so much. I also am doing work with Prince Digital Group. I forgot to mention that, which I should never, because Darren Prince is,
Sure.
I love him so much. He's my
We appreciate
brother. He
Darren.
came
Yep.
literally from God. I know that. I'm not delusional about that. He came into my life from God. And so I'm helping with Prince Digital Group as well, bringing in some business with that. So just looking, I'm all doing where I'm at is hands off the wheel. I follow my intuition in everything that I do. The thing, going back to like the thing that I've learned the most is to really observe myself and my surroundings and the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I feel around that? That to me is so important because for a long time I surrounded myself with people that were not good for, they weren't there for my higher self. And that really, truly, like our circle truly does create our reality as well with our daily habits. And I think our daily habits put us into a frequency which will attract a new tribe,
Sure.
you know?
You are a reflection of who you surround yourself with. So it's always
100%.
been definitely an adage I've followed. Well, thank you so much for the time, Frank. Realize it's a Saturday morning and really appreciate you as a human. And just want to thank you again. How can people connect with you?
Instagram at Frank Parisi 2011. I'm very active on there. LinkedIn,
Great.
Frank Parisi. Facebook, Frank Parisi. TikTok, Frank Parisi 2011. You could go to my coaching program. It's frank-parisi.com/coaching. You could buy my book on Amazon, Embrace Abundance. And then also you could find me at emotionwellness.com. That is our PHP IOP program for adolescents and adults down in San Antonio, Texas. You'll be seeing a lot more of that.
Awesome.
So yeah, man, I appreciate you so much, Thoryn. You are probably one of the, you are the ultimate human being.
Thank you.
I have not met a human being more well-rounded in every single area than you. I totally love you, appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I'm so happy that we have a relationship today. And I thank Darren Prince again for that relationship.
100%. The super
But I mean, dude, you're like one of the greatest human beings ever. I mean, I just love you.
We appreciate that and appreciate you and your journey, and it's just utter inspiration. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Check out Brain Fitness One, leave a review, share the episode with others that are seeking inspiration. And we look forward to chatting with Dr. Galen Buckwalter on the next episode. Thank you, guys. We'll talk soon. Take care, Frank.